Welcome everyone. I'm Ria from Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. Today, I'll be giving a presentation on how innovation and design thinking is used in IT industry. So what is design thinking? Design thinking, it is a methodology that designers use to brainstorm and solve complex problems related to designing and design engineering. It is a blend of logic, powerful imagination, systematic reasoning, and intuition to bring to the table the ideas that promise to solve the problems of the clients with desirable outcomes. It helps to bring creativity with business insights. So, business, information technology, education, and healthcare are its few applications. Empathy, define, ideate, prototype, and test are the 5 attributes of design thinking. So, what is empathy? This step involves putting oneself into the shoes of the customer or the end user of a solution. We need to understand the problems faced by the customer and need to empathize with them. This is carried out by involving interviews, information gathering, and even field visits. Following can be few of the questions that can be asked to the employees. That is, regarding motivation to work, regarding leaving the company, regarding time of leaving, regarding knowledge transfer mechanism. Once these questions have been answered, we can proceed to the further steps with much more clarity. This way, a design thinker will be able to cover all the necessary details related to the problem, gather all the requirements, and think of the solution with a exhaustive set of facts and information in hand. Next is define. As a design thinker, we need to cover all the points and the answers that we got in the empathize phase. This is where the process of synthesis comes into picture. We have to club all the answers together and convert them into a coherent single statement. The following guidelines will help a design thinker to come up with such questions, that is, amplifying the good, eliminate the bad, explore the opposite, question the assumptions, break the problems into pieces. Next is ideate. The third component of design thinking process is the most interesting and perhaps the most rigorous as well. A design thinker is supposed to bring to the table as many ideas as possible. While brainstorming for ideas, it is not checked whether the idea is possible, feasible, viable or not. The only task of thinkers is to think of as many as ideas possible for them. Focus must be on the quantity and not on the quality. In this step, the group must have a large number of ideas with them. Think out of the blue. Wild ideas must be encouraged even if they invoke plain humor or seem impossible. Next is prototyping. This step deals with building the ideas and checking for their feasibility to arrive at the final solution. This is a step in which three things are mainly taken care of. That is creation of experience, getting feedback, and finally iteration. The step of prototyping is one in which the end user comes into picture. The end user is actively involved in this component of design thinking. All the feedback is taken from the customer and based on the criticism, suggestions, and appreciation received, the design thinkers create a better solution after iterating with 3 steps, that is empathize, define, and ideate. The final step is test, also called as execute. This is the phase where the final solution is tested on a full scale basis. The idea that seems the best according to the feedback of the customer will be executed. In this step, the design thinkers are supposed to be collaborative. Testing will help to understand what actually works and what does not. This step can be the most rewarding if the prototype succeeds to give positive results, or can be the most annoying if the prototyping fails. After testing, the entire process of design thinking may have to be repeated. If the end user approves the solution, then the process of design thinking stops here. Next is design thinking in IT industry. The information technology industry have been booming across the world since few decades. The industry employs a large number of people across the globe and is a hub for innovation every day. The IT industry is now working mostly on agile methodology, which is a technique of project management. Agile methodology, it is an iterative or incremental method of managing development and design. Each day, the engineers have a set of tasks at hand, which they are required to complete in a day or two. Moreover, the complex problems shot by the customers to the engineers are required to be solved quickly. In such a scenario, design thinking helps to solve the problems and address the exact need of the customer. Solving the customer's problem require intuitive thinking and understanding by observing exemplary use cases or scenarios. And theories are not encouraged. This intuitive understanding is developed by design thinking principles. After getting the problem statement from the client, the engineers are supposed to brainstorm on ideas and suggest solutions to the client. Next is waterfall model. The waterfall model is a breakdown of project activities into linear sequential phases, meaning they are passed on onto each other, where each phase is dependent on one another. In a waterfall model, which is different from the Agile model, the process starts with requirement gathering, followed by creating the visual designs, and then occurs the development of the solution. Testing is the last step in the model. Looking closely, it is similar to the process of design thinking. Next, this is a difference between Agile model and waterfall model. Agile, it is a dynamic software development strategy, whereas waterfall model is a regimented software development approach. Agile is an iterative, time-taking design process, whereas waterfall is a linear process. Agile tests during software development. Waterfall examines after the build phase. Agile process steps are known as sprints, whereas the steps in waterfall model is known as phases. The IT engineers today are supposed to understand the problem statements in the exact manner as felt by the client. Otherwise, both the solution and the time invested will be in vain. Once requirements have been gathered, only then can the developers start thinking of programmatic solutions. The solutions that are developed are sent for the client's experience. The feedback given by the client helps the designers and developers to iterate the process of software development. Design thinking has been extensively used in IT companies to brainstorm for solutions towards customers' problem. The advantages of using design thinking in IT industries. The solutions are prototyped, the results are verified, the best solutions are accepted, the solutions are experienced by the client before approval. Short iterations are possible to improve the user experience. Small cross-functional teams, incremental delivery is possible. Fast feedback helps the designers and developers. Continuous improvement is possible. Finally, the conclusion. The concept of design thinking can be applied across diverse disciplines from education, law, medicine to IT, business management, human resource management, and design itself. Design thinking principles enable and empower a professional to approach the problem statement in a step by step manner and take into account all the necessary factors for arriving at the best solution. First, analysis teaches a thinker how to break down the big problem statement into smaller parts and problem statements. Each elementary problem statement is then studied and attempted for solution. During analysis, divergent thinking is applied and multiple solutions are thought for each of the elementary problem statements. The suggested solutions need not to be feasible or viable. The main aim of divergent thinking is to bring up as many ideas as possible. Synthesis is done to put all the suggested solutions together to form a coherent big final solution. Divergent thinking is followed by convergent thinking, where the suggested ideas are tested on the grounds of feasibility, viability, and innovation. Synthesis takes the help of convergent thinking to come up with the final best solution. That's all with my presentation. Thank you. Do like, share, and subscribe.